And hello and welcome to Smart Meetings TV. I'm Mike Lyons, the host of Smart Meetings TV, and we're here in our nation's capital at the beautiful Renaissance Downtown Hotel in Washington, D.C. for Smart Meetings Mid-Atlantic. Now, we just heard from our opening keynote speaker, Dr. Natalie Stavas, who gave an incredibly inspiring talk. And we're with Natalie. Natalie, I have to tell you, it was just such a moving, inspiring talk. And of course, you were one of the first responders at the Boston bombing 3 years ago, and you told a little bit about what happened as you were coming towards the finish line. So take it from there, if you could, a little bit about what you were speaking this morning about.
I was about to finish the Boston Marathon when the bombs exploded, and I found myself in this position where I had to make this critical choice. And the choice was, everyone was running away from it, and there were a few that were running towards it. And was I going to be one of those people who ran into this incredibly chaotic and dangerous situation, or was I going to turn and run the other way? And I made that decision to run towards it. And it really has changed my life, and I will say for the better, because I've gone on to be able to reflect about that experience and answer questions related to that experience and why I made that decision. And that reflection has really allowed me to talk to people around the world even about how to critically think in times of chaos, and how to be someone who, instead of being scared of chaos, is someone who actually embraces it and runs toward it.
Yeah, but what's interesting about that is that most people, of course, would run away from it instinctively, naturally. That's built into us in a sense. And the fact that you made that choice on the spot to run towards the chaos, and we're able to help, as you were saying in your talk, 3 of the 4 people that you helped survived.
Yes. You know, I think there is inherent within us all this battle that we have, the fight or flight battle, the courage or fear battle. And what I try to encourage people to understand is that in reality, our brains are wired to reward us for being courageous and for being kind and being altruistic.
But also, think about the times in your life where there's been an opportunity, right, to be a positive influence, to alleviate suffering, to take action. Now, we cannot always predict or control the situation we find ourselves in, but what we can influence is how we experience a situation that we find ourselves in.
So I'm writing this book, and the book is following the journey of a young inner city kid who really started with not much of anything. He was homeless, and he was given a pair of running shoes, and his journey and his transformation through running, which really brought him from the streets of Boston to the starting line of the 2016 Boston Marathon. And the book is about not just only his journey, but the journey of many people who are suffering and who are struggling, and how we can, for me in this book, incorporate running and being active into our lives as a motivator and as a healer.
You ran with him and walked with him the entire 26 miles, including a couple of times along the way where he just plopped down in the middle of the course and said, "I'm not going any further." And yet you got him up and you helped push him towards the end, and he actually ran when he got onto Boylston Street, he actually finished and ran the
He did. It was, his story is a true testament, I think, to a lot of the struggles that we are facing. The human potential is infinite. It's infinite. And that's what I try to encourage people to understand, right, is we're not stagnant human beings. We are all special, we are all important, and we all have this infinite potential. And setting these goals and practicing these goals and practicing being courageous, it just really sets you up on a path to have a life, and I say a life that you're not just surviving, but a life that you're thriving in.
Now, I think the most important question we can ask ourselves is, how do we attack these challenges, embrace these challenges? How do we run towards these challenges, all while maintaining a sense of joy, well-being, and balance?